What is one thing you underestimated the severity of until it happened to you? Chemotherapy. Movies made me think I would be throwing up 24/7. Reality is that it's nothing like they show in the movies, and it's more like a dementor sucking your soul out very slowly over time. It's slow and constant pain. I've never felt closer to death. I knew it would be bad, but I had no idea how much it would mess with me mentally as well as physically. Happy to report I'm cancer free now, but did not come out of that battle unscathed. Getting bed bugs. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. It was a disruption in nearly every facet of my life. Threw my back out a bit last year for the first time. Damn near immobile. Car crash. Specifically a head-on collision. Changed my life. I dream of it. I get shivers on the road randomly when a light post or a guardrail reminds me of what it felt like to be flung into it going 60 miles per hour. I think about how I should have died and why I didn't. I think about it all the time, and it happened almost 8 years ago now. Dental care. It's so easy to avoid brushing your teeth and flossing at night. And because you don't see any immediate consequences, it's easy to ignore. Then all of a sudden you're hit with the pain, discomfort, and cost of having to fix your teeth. You wonder why you didn't just take care of them earlier. Getting cheated on when you're in genuine love, and the heartbreak that follows. The kind where you need to pull over on the way to work as you're suddenly crying so hard you can't see. You lose weight and people notice. You sleep okay, but you look like you haven't. You question who you are, what went wrong, why, just why. Took me over a year to get over it, like I'd wasted 2 years of my life, and lied to myself, was never really happy, and the day I got over it in a truly enlightening experience, I cried on and off all day, but it was crying, while smiling and laughing. Because I remembered what it was like to be happy again. The grief of losing a parent. I lost my dad in Aug, and yesterday at the cinema watching Spider-Man: No Way Home I burst into tears 3 times because I realized I couldn't remember what my dad's voice sounded like anymore. Kidney stones. Those MFS hurt. How immensely an abusive relationship can mess you up 12 years later. I'm still working on repairing the damages. Worrying about money all the time fucking sucks. Ear infections, getting shingles. I'm not in the age this is supposed to happen. It was pandemic stress that activated the chickenpox virus in my body. I was 6 when I, along with all my siblings, got chickenpox. Holy smokes, the pain. Imagine your ribs are needles. Can't wear a shirt. Hurts. And now, a year later, I get random tingle on my ribs and get paranoid about another outbreak. I'm furious there is a vaccine, but normally doctors don't think about giving it until you are over 50. Get that FN vaccine now. Panic attacks. Never fully understood it. Never had anxiety or a panic attack until my dad died. First day back to work, was heading out of town and had, what I come to find out, a full-blown panic attack. I started hyperventilating. Legs started shaking. Thought I was going to die, had to have my co-worker pull over. I got out of the truck, laid on my back, and stared at the sky what felt like forever, might have been 10 to 15 minutes. Been struggling with the anxiety and PTSD it's caused for about 5 years now. Have mostly got it under control and manageable. But before it happened to me, I always blew it off as a minor inconvenience at best. It's not a joke though. Scared the hell out of me. Heroin addiction, truly devastating. It will destroy your life, turn you into the worst possible version of yourself. Never try heroin, never underestimate the danger. Depression and suicidal urges. Grief. My son died on the 9th of December. He was only 21, and it was sudden, with no underlying health issues. It's utter agony. Autoimmune disease. I always heard about how hard it was, but until I got lupus I had no earthly idea how severe and taxing it is. Autoimmune diseases are awful. Divorce. Arthritis. It's a bitch. Depression. The physical toll is remarkable. Being homeless. When I got kicked from the military for being gay, prior to the repeal of DADT, I was homeless for a good 4 months. Coming from a big military family, I was kind of seen as the pariah due to my resistance to join anyway, but my family made it damn near impossible to avoid. When I got kicked out, I was sent back to Florida where I enlisted. I had no money. No apartment. No car. No job. My family wasn't speaking to me. It was hard to get a job because I didn't have an address. I was learning to dumpster dive. I managed to squat in a house that was falling apart. Would bathe in the ocean or I would use someone's hose to wash off. A few months in, I got a job at an ice cream shop on the beach. One night, my coworker took me home. I asked them to drop me off block away so they wouldn't see where I was living. I was so embarrassed. But they saw what was happening, said no, you are coming back with me, and gave me a place to live and put me back on the path to stability. It was even that long. I was very lucky to have someone in my life at that time. I often wonder what my life would be like. My coworker, who is now one of my best friends, didn't take me under his wing and left me to fend for myself. When I look at my city and see all these homeless people, I can't help but to be supportive of them and their journey. I won't ever look away in disgust. When I roll up next to someone begging at the stoplight, I'll give if I can, and if not, I'll acknowledge their humanity. Apologize for my inability to help. Or I'll just give them half my sandwich. Or money. I was only out there for 4 months. And it changed my entire life. Grief. I've lost relatives in the past, but once I lost someone close to me, I severely underestimated it. Manipulation. Oh my god. You never think it can happen to you, you always think you'd be smarter than to fall for it. You're not. No one is. And now I want to slap people when they say things like I'd never let that happen to me. Example, I truly don't think I'd ever be sucked into a cult. People who do seem insane and most tactics don't work on me, so it'd be easy for me to write that off. But I did get manipulated into an abusive relationship for 2 entire years as a pretty healthy person with no real abusive models of love. Parents had a healthy relationship, etc. So how can I judge others, or say for sure? You just have no idea what a truly stealthy manipulator can do to you, or to your literal brain chemistry until it happens. Mental illness. Psychosis. Being alone all the time. More the opposite. I underestimated the damage caused by childhood sexual abuse, because I was busy blocking my own experience out. I was one of those men who would read about some middle-aged dude bringing charges, or accusing somebody of something decades later, and ask myself, it's been 30 years, why is it a big deal now? And then I had the moment where I had to admit to myself I was also a victim, and just how much it has affected all my relationships. So, well, maybe I underestimated what that moment of realization feels like. Not applying sunblock. I grew up playing outside most of the time, and would just slowly tan from spring into summer every year without really using sunscreen, unless we were on a winter family trip to somewhere tropical. Now I'm in my 30s heading into my 4th surgery to remove cancerous or precancerous areas on my skin. Shit's real. Wear sunscreen. Procrastination. IBSD. For sure. The idea of pooping was so underestimated before I had episode after episode after episode of painful, sweat-inducing pooping that made my anus raw, and I was crying. I have pooped 23 times in one day before, and I cried for my mother. Any intestinal issue, Crohn's disease, IBSD, gastroenteritis, constipation, food sensitivities, etc can and will render you useless and sweaty and sad and sore. If you've never had to clamp your hand between your butt cheeks as you're sprinting to the bathroom in public, consider yourself lucky. IUD insertion. You'll just feel a pinch as a damn lie. Divorce. Holy shit y'all. Ending such a long-term relationship then telling everyone. Allergies. Never got them as a kid. Got them for the first time around 35 or so. People would complain, and I'd think you have the sniffles. Big deal, stop whining. Then I got them. My god, it is miserable. I still don't get them manually or anything, but it sucks.